So that's another data point leaning towards the generalist versus the specialist, because when you're so blinded, then you miss the other data points that could be changing the entire narrative of what you're talking about.
That's right. That's right. Think about, I mean, look, there's storied examples here. Steve Ballmer suggesting there'd be no market for the iPhone, right? Okay, right. Or even McKinsey saying, the market for cell phones will be limited. Or, IBM and there were some computer executives that said, there'll be a market for like 5 personal computers or some small number back in the 50s. What happens is when you're focused on one area, you fail to realize possibilities outside it. Irving Fisher back in 1929 said the stock market reached a permanently high plateau. Well, it turns out it went ahead and plunged a ton shortly after he said that. And there's a lot of reasons for this recency bias. People that end up focusing too much on their area tend not to look broadly at areas that could be coming from adjacent domains or adjacent developments that can affect what they're predicting. And here, the scholar who I think is really worthy of reading up on and has done some brilliant research that I'm very fond of is Philip Tetlock. Philip Tetlock, he's written several books, my favorite of which is Expert Political Judgment, where he's, over 20 years, he analyzes something like hundreds of thousands of predictions to come to the conclusion that people are more accurate in predicting, non-experts are more accurate predictors than experts in a specific domain. So if your area's expertise is, I don't know, economic growth forecasting, turns out non-economic actors that's not their focus are better at predicting economic growth than you are.
Wow.
And it's sort of like a very disturbing development in so many levels. And in fact, the research is gigantic. I mean, he's done some brilliant work over long periods of time. I mean, that study had 284 professional forecasters, and I think he had data on over 80,000 actual predictions and forecasts.
Incredible.
And concluded that, and the conclusion was, literally the conclusion was, it's more realistic to turn to non-experts than experts. And that has to do with the focus and sort of seeing things that may come in to affect you and not affect you.